Welcome back everyone for another Retro Scams where we're going to go over our next generation 2 Pokemon game, Pokemon Gold. So we'll start by popping these out of these cases. So something you notice pretty quickly from this is one of the shells has kind of like a glittery, freckly type thing to it, and the other one does not. So the one that has the glitter to it is the real one, and the one that does not is the fake one. Had to make the lighting a little brighter on here, but right there where the quality stamp is, you can see there's 22 stamped into there. It's a little tough to see just because how the light has to hit it, how reflective the label is, but it's there. Meaning this has the authentic label on the authentic case. So looking at the back of the shell, you can see the glitter quite a bit, but you can also see it has the 3.6mm line head screw or 3.8mm game bit. And then looking at the fake one, the shell of it does not have any of that glittery effect on it, like anywhere on here. It has the garbage tri-wing screw that I really hate. It also has imperfections. And one thing you can't really see in the camera, this plastic is extremely cheap. And if you're a label kind of person, the real one being on the left, fake one on the right, the Nintendo seal is like extra bold on the one on the right, plus it looks a little smaller. And then you have the other lettering in the silver part. It's like right up against the coloring on here, but it's not on the other one. Yeah, I know there are like coloring and things like that that are different on there, but for the most part, if you are trying to compare a label on something, if it does not have that one stamp on it, then it's not going to be the real label. And if you go to a place like pricecharting.com, they're usually pretty good about having pictures of the labels for these things. And then comparing the backs of the shells, it's just the standard like all the other Game Boy ones had, where it's the ugly tri-wing screw on the fake one, the bolt on the real one. I mean, there are things I usually don't go over that much just because there's so many other things to look at, but I mean, like the lettering made in Japan, it's completely different on both of them. You actually have like padding in there if you're a CSS person, and then it's like right up against the edge in the fake one. And then another important test on here is when you have the fake one, if you take a flashlight or any type of light source, even a cell phone, that just shines all the way through because the board is just so short on there, plus it's the cheapest plastic in the world. So you can just easily see all the light through. You take the real one with the flashlight, shine that on there, and there may be a couple spots where you can see through there, but it's definitely not how it is with the other one, because the other one is not a full-size board in there, plus it's cheap plastic. And then the most important part is taking these apart and actually seeing the boards inside. So you undo the screws on them, you can either pop them apart on the back, or from here, just slide those down and pop the tops off. So right away you can see what that last test showed, where this fake one here does not take up that full space there, so that's why it's easy to see all the lighting. There's a little hole right up there, and that's why you can see a small piece of light on there. And as I say in all the videos, this part's extremely important. If you're going to touch the boards, make sure you are grounded out. So we'll start with the real one first. So for the Pokemon games for the Game Boy, of course, look for that big battery. It's going to be CR2025. If it's been changed, it might be a CR2032. And then there are a couple other ones that might work also, but hopefully people use the legit battery for it. Then if you take the front shell with the label and look up DMG-AAUE on there, right here on the biggest board you can see DMG-AAUE also. And then one of the biggest things to look at, other than Nintendo being here on the back, are these 4 rectangles right here. Those 4 rectangles are pretty much a dead giveaway with the Game Boy games that they're real. Here is our fake one. So of course you notice there's no battery on there. There's all this other weird stuff on here. These ones just pretty much hold a ROM. That's the point of them. I mean, it is cool technology, just kind of seeing the difference between this and the real one, where this holds the game that used to require a huge board to hold it back in the 90s, or in the case of this game, 2000. So you won't see any markings anywhere on here about Nintendo or anything like that. It's just, there won't be those 4 rectangles on here. Just kind of a boring looking board on the back. There aren't even any of those little cool gold squares or anything on this one. It's just a few chips to hold the ROM, and that's about it. But these ones can save without a battery on them just because they're using flash memory. That's the only upside I've seen for these fake ones so far, but one issue with that is a lot of times the saves can go corrupt. So in previous ones I've covered this part when the shells are all together, but it's a little easier to see when it's like this, which you can see it when you're looking down the front part at the gold pins when the shell is hooked together. On the fake ones, they have this huge gap right here, and the real ones are solid all the way across. I don't know if that's just a quality issue or if there's some purpose of it, but it could easily make it so like dust or stuff like that could get inside that shell. So then it's time to test these out. We have the real one in the Super Game Boy, and the fake one in the Game Boy Color. Hey, there's Jigglypuff and Pikachu. So yeah, they are both working in there, so we will swap them out and try the other ones. And now we have the fake one in the Super Game Boy and the real one in the Game Boy Color. So yeah, just like with the other ones, as far as these devices are concerned, these are all real versions of the games. Now also one thing to note, gold and silver will both work in the Super Game Boy, but crystal is one that was made specifically for the Game Boy Color, so that one will not work in the Super Game Boy. Well, I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments and I'll try to answer them best my ability. Our next one and the final one for our Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Generation 2 series will be Pokemon Silver version. Then after that, we have all the Game Boy Advance ones to look at. So we'll start with Generation 3 after that. And then there are the shorts that are coming out still. Some are still planned where we're going to be testing these fake ones in Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2. So if you enjoyed this, please subscribe, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, then please also subscribe and leave a thumbs up. I want to thank you for watching. Have a nice day.